right the first time, I'm like, okay, I'll go into the next one, because it's rare that, because they're so quick anyway. But if something was like, I think I slurred that word, I'll just do it again. And they're usually just improvised, you know, I don't write them out. The only ones I actually write out are the Nostalgia Critics. So, yeah, I just go in front of a wall. I mean, the actual process of filming a bum review is very boring to watch, so I'll be there, I'll be like, you know, oh my god, this is the greatest work I've ever seen in my life!
There's this guy named Bruce Wayne.
It'll just be like an hour of that. I mean, it's like, actually, it looks like a total schizo if you were to watch like the raw footage pretty much. I mean, just someone that just looks totally nuts. So, yeah, that's how that works. Other questions? You.
In the process of making your Nostalgia Critic reviews, has there ever been a time when you're really far into production and then a joke or a fact that you didn't get right causes you to have to rewrite the whole thing or rewrite a lot of your reviews?
No, because I'm lazy. I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, I've literally made videos about the mistakes I've made in my videos. You know, I mean, everybody makes mistakes in whatever they do. I just make much more of them than the common person. So, I mean, you try to have fun with it, but you do try to account for it also. So if it is something that it was like an obvious miss, I mean, just like, you know, no, this person did not do this, and I make this joke like 5 times. I try to go back and fix it, yeah, before it goes up. A lot of the times, though, it's very much, whatchamacallit, like me sort of dubbing it over sometimes, and sometimes you can obviously tell, but I've gotten better at it. So, yeah, if there's a really major obvious mistake, I do try to fix it before it goes up. Let's do it in the back there.
Have you ever considered going back and doing some of your earlier ones again? For example, maybe like for a 250th episode, go back and revisit Cartoon All Stars?
You know, I was thinking about doing something like that, like going back and redoing one of the reviews, but with a lot of them, the only one I could think maybe I could do a little differently is the Ninja Turtle movies, because I think I could probably say some more stuff about them, but I was thinking about doing Cartoon All-Stars actually, going back to that, and I was like, nah, I pretty much, I mean, it's a different style, but I pretty much said what I need to say, you know, on that one. I mean, it's only a half hour long, so there's not a ton to talk about. But yeah, I think the Ninja Turtles movies is the only one that's like, maybe I should do that, but I don't know. I'm sort of hesitant about it, so we'll see what happens. Someone hasn't got it. Yes?
What finally made you convinced that you also do the Digimon movie?
Well, it's just everyone is saying, do the Digimon movie, yeah! No, I did the Digimon movie, honestly, because I made a joke at, me and J.O. always sort of said, oh, we should do a crossover at some point, because I know a little bit about anime, despite the fact that everyone brings me to cons saying, you know all about anime, I don't. A little bit. But obviously that's her forte, that's what she does. So I just, we were trying to figure out what to do, and she said, well, we can do Digimon. I'm like, okay, the movie, right, because I don't know anything about the show, and she's done the show, like, to death. So, yeah, it pretty much went from there, and again, it's funny if you acknowledge that I know nothing about it. And she didn't like the movie either, so it's nice we're both coming from these angles, someone who's a real diehard fan and someone who knows nothing about it. Going, yeah, like, you know, it was Angela Anaconda or whatever. I mean, that's a great, what the hell? You know, it's like, I didn't even know what that show was. So just to start off with that, I'm like, boy, the Japanese animation is as good as I thought it'd be. So, yeah, it was just, and then in what was it? The Amano review, the heavy metal, at some point, I made a joke like, oh, that was going to be with J.O. or something like that. And then I did a little improv with Chad at the end of it, you know, say like, you know, oh, yeah, I thought it was going to be J.O. And just as a running joke, it's like, well, and then she calls out and says, thanks for the shout out, but yeah, do you think we should actually do a crossover? You sort of built it up. I'm like, yeah, I think so. So, yeah, so that's how that came about. Other questions? Yes?
You know, I recall you doing the review of The Room, and you had to go into the future to make it nostalgic. Have you heard of the movie Birdemic, Shock and Terror?
I've heard of Birdemic, yeah.
Would you possibly do a review on that in the near future?
No, because it's the same reason I don't want to do like Phantom Menace. Just everybody said everything needs to be said about it. You know, like half our reviewers have done it. I'm just like, the only way I do it is if I feel I can bring something fresh to it, like something new. And I'm just like, nah, everyone said what's obviously bad about it. You know, where The Room, I really thought this is so uniquely bad. It's special kind of bad. God. You know, it's like I can get some good stuff out of this. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I'm doing that one. Let's do Blue Hat.
I just saw First Time
The reactions
Race.
happen in the Nostalgia Critic. Do you ever like feel those reactions? Like, do you actually like express those whenever you watch a certain movie, or do they just kind of come out of it out of inspiration when you write?
Do I ever actually have the reactions I have in Nostalgia Critic when I'm watching one of the movies? For the most, I mean, if I do, we're always, my brother and I are watching, we're always sort of laughing while, you know, doing it, like, you know, we go, what the hell, or something like that, but we're laughing while, you know, getting out these, you know, crazy expressions and reactions. So, to some extent, yes, but it's like where we know we're joking, you know, when we're watching it with the Nostalgia, you play it serious, like, you know, he's so destroyed or shocked by what he's seeing. I used to actually get legitimately angry at movies when I was younger. I mean, I used to be like, you know, what the hell, how can you like this and not, oh, you blah, 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 you're a horrible person. But maybe because I made it my job, I've become more laid back because it is sort of like, you know, just, you know, yeah, and you have other people saying, hey, I like this movie, and it is all subjective. I mean, it's like, if you like something, great, if you don't, you know, I mean, if anything, it's more fun to talk about, oh, hey, what do you like about this that I don't like, and why do you like it, and vice versa. So, yeah, so I don't get genuinely that angry, except maybe a Breaking Dawn. That sort of pissed me off. That was the first time in a while where I'm like, okay, I'm mad. I'm really mad at a movie. I think I get really protective when it's something that's like aiming towards younger people, and they're like, you know, no, this is what younger people need to see and need to hear. We know because we're smart, and that. I don't like that. That sort of pisses me off when they're saying something that's really, really not good for younger people. So that's the only time I'll actually get like angry. But if it's something for adults, it's like, dude, we're adults. Just like what you like, dislike what you dislike. If you don't like it, don't watch it. So yeah, let's do White Hat.
Did Mara Wilson contact you, or like how did that work?
Funny story. The whole Mara Wilson thing. Essentially, I think how it went down is that I did the Thomas the Tank Engine review, and I think I mentioned her once or twice in a few other reviews, and I guess a bunch of my fans were saying, okay, look what the Nostalgia Critic said about you, to like her Facebook and stuff, and she said she was just having a really bad week. I mean, there was like some sort of tabloid that was, you know, doing slander, you know, and stuff like that, and then she had this on top of it, and she just pretty much just said, you know, okay, this guy's a jerk, you know, why listen to this guy, what an a-hole, blah, blah, blah. And when people would say, well, no, he's a character, you know, she thought they meant like, you know, oh, he's such a character, you know. And finally, when she sort of caught wind, and then all of us were sort of like saying, no, we're cool, we have nothing against you and stuff. Very quickly, she saw, you know, that we were no threat and everything, and she was like, you know, oh, God, I'm so sorry, I really didn't know, I didn't know you were actually a character, and you know, yeah, I had people poke fun of me, and I poke fun of them. I say, here's some jokes I've heard about me. But, so, very, very nice. And then I think somebody was sort of recommending, or somebody put out for him, hey, would like a crossover be sort of funny or possible or something like that? And okay, I just sort of said, would this be something you'd be interested in? And she was like, yeah, it'd be great. And I just wrote that whole bit where, like, you know, she totally, you know, serves me by having, you know, all those childhood clips of me in there. And, yeah, it just turned out really, really funny. I think it's one of the funniest things in any of the reviews. I think it just turned out so well. And she was so good. I mean, she was so into it. And that was like, I love that just out of like this, you know, sort of negativity that's sort of spawned from it, you can just get something really funny and really positive. And, you know, we got Mara Wilson to act on video again, you know, and actually be seen it. It's like, that's really cool, you know, just for a joke. So I love that kind of stuff. It was really, really cool how that all turned out. Yes.
How did you feel about showing those childhood clips the first time that you?
Oh, I don't get it. Showing the childhood clip, I don't care. I know I was a dork when I was younger, so. You know, I mean, it's like, I got a friggin' website where people come and like, you know, laugh and enjoy it and make a living out of it. It's like, dude, if it just costs showing some clips of me when I was a kid, I'm fine. So, no, that wasn't especially hard. Now, my brother was like, you don't show any clips of me, okay? You don't show any. Alright, I'll keep it. Yeah, no, that stuff. I mean, because I do know I look so ridiculous, I was trying so hard to go over the top at that, so I was just like, no, this is gonna be hilarious. So, let's see, let's do, yes, Black hair there.
Which video would you say you had the most fun making?
I had the most fun making? God, that's tough. Maybe it was a hard one to do, but maybe the Moulin Rouge one. That's also my favorite one because I just loved working with. I loved working with Brent. I loved going to New York. I loved seeing Lindsay down there, and Todd was down there, and all our friends and stuff. And we just we'd spent this one whole day just getting this all shot. And it was just great fun. It's great fun when you have people there just constantly trying to make you laugh. And actually, the Alone in the Dark review was pretty fun too, because the two of them were just constantly on the same page and just always get the comedy going. So I didn't have to say anything. I couldn't say anything, but yes, so those were a lot of fun. Let's see. Let's do Blue Hat.
Have you ever had any other celebrities contact you after seeing your reviews?
Any other celebrities contact me to see my reviews? The only, most people know about the Wiseau one, obviously they know about the Mara Wilson one. The only other one I can think of that I did feel kind of bad is actually the daughter of the creator of Doug contacted me. And she was very, very nice. I mean, she was very, just like, hey, just to let you know, my dad worked really hard on this and, put a lot of time and effort, and just know he's gotten complaints over and over from people named Doug who were tortured in childhood because of this show, and apologies and blah, blah, blah. It was just right before I was going to do the Doug movie. So I was just like, oh, no, it's a character, ha ha, tee hee, I'm not really that angry, blah, blah, blah. And I actually did just a touch. I edited a little bit of the review down a bit. There's one or two. I'm like, now that I know this, maybe I don't quite need this joke, or maybe I should keep that out. But I mean, not much. Essentially, what's there is what I shot. Aside from that, I can't think of... I think the guy who made, like, Gargoyles said he saw the review and liked that. And then Paul Dini, I think, also saw the Batman Top 11 list and really liked that. So, yeah, stuff like that is pretty cool. It does change things a little bit when you realize as you're writing something or filming something, it's like, hey, you're big enough that actually the people who worked on this might see it. So, oh, and the woman who played Lisa in the room, she actually posted a link to the review of it, and she's like, this is hilarious, you gotta see it. So that was really cool. So yeah, every once in a while you get like, actor, actress, or director or something that worked on something and be like, hey, I saw this, good job, or, your mother. But not a ton. It's enough for me though. Let's do someone over here. Action.
When the new RoboCop movie comes out, do you think you'll do the new versus old of that?
Old versus new of the RoboCops? Maybe. I mean, if it's just obviously crap, I mean, that's always one of those things. Like, do an old versus new of Planet of the Apes. Yeah, old wins. I mean, some are just so friggin' obvious. I mean, the reason I did the Willy Wonka one, like, even though it was obvious to me, a lot of people were still like, no, come on, we like the new one, we like the blah, blah, blah. So I felt that'd be a good one to do, but I mean, if something's obviously bad and nobody likes it, I mean, there's no point in doing old versus new of it. So we'll just have to wait and see if it's really good, and maybe I will. Yes, standing up there.
Stop me if you already answered this one, but the new Judge Dredd.
The new Judge Dredd?
Old versus new.
Oh, old versus new, it depends if it's, well, I don't know, it's sort of, the only crime that movie could probably commit is if it was really boring, which is sort of my fear of it. But, because the original, as bad as it is, it's so entertaining, it's so much fun. It is like Commando or something like that, like it's so over-the-top goofy, you can't help but love it. So, that's the only way I could see like doing an old versus new of that. I don't know, I'll get back to you, depends on how the movie does. Let's do whatever that helmet hat thing is.
Since we're talking about old versus new stuff right now, is there anything that you'd like to be remade just so you can do an old versus new on it?
Just so I can do old versus new. I mean, it's something I like to see remade. I'm one of those people where I'm like, like somebody brought up, they're like, they're remaking Drop Dead Fred. I'm like, good. Movie's terrible. It should be remade. I mean, it's like, it's the remaking of good films I don't usually like. But, I don't know. I mean, nothing that I can think of that, like, I want this to be made just so I can do an old versus new. I mean, nothing pops in my head. So, no, not that I can think of. Let's do something else over here. Other lectures, yes.
Is the review of Matilda still out of the question?
Probably. I mean, and not even because of Mara Wilson or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure she'd be on board for that, actually. It's more just so many people have a love for that movie, and when I talk about something I don't like, but I know has a big fan base, I want to at least understand, or at least acknowledge that I can see why other people like it. If you like it, great. That's like James and the Giant Peach. You know, I don't like it, but I know a lot of people do. So it's like, if you do, great. I can talk about what did work and stuff. I really hate Matilda. I really hate that movie, and I cannot find good stuff to say about it. I'm sure people worked hard, and I'm sure people that like it really like it. If you do, great. I can't find a good thing to say about it. I really despise it. So that's one of the reasons why I just know probably more people would be hurt and offended and stuff like that than they would, you know, enjoying it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stay away from that one. Doesn't mean one of the other reviewers can't do it though. Let's do red hat, blue shirt there.
Have you ever considered reviewing Phantom Tollbooth?
Phantom Tollbooth? I love Phantom Tollbooth. I can't review that. I love that movie. Actually, when doing the top 11, mine, what's this rated? Fs. That was one of those I wanted to put on there, but I couldn't find any clips. I couldn't find anything from the movie. Now it's on DVD, I mean, but back then, I mean, like, nobody could find it. The video was like $200 or something like that, because it was so rare. So, yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I thought it was inventive, I thought it was creative, I love Chuck Jones, I love the animation, so I couldn't find anything bad to say about it. Maybe it's a little slow, but I don't think that I can get much comedy out of that. So probably not. I'll probably stay away from that one. Let's do all the, or no, I already got, did I get you already? All the way in the back?
What movies, how do you select the movies that you do?
How do I select the movies I do? It's kind of a mix of people making recommendations or just stuff. I'm like, oh hey, I should do this. I do look at the forums, I do look at requests and stuff like that. It has to be something I'm familiar with. If it's like a show I didn't grow up with or I have no clue, I'm not going to do it because I wouldn't be able to properly represent it. You know, Captain Planet I can represent because I grew up with it. I knew a lot of the continuing jokes and themes and stuff like that I can make fun of that I can represent. Or Full House, you know. But if it's a show, they're like, do Sonic X or whatever. It's like, I don't know what that is. I know it's Sonic, but I'm not going to watch the whole series, you know, to do a review because I'm not going to have time. I got to do other stuff. But essentially, yeah, it just has to be something I'm aware of and something I feel we can get good comedy from. That's actually one of the reasons I'm not going to do Small Soldiers because I finally saw it. I'm like, well, it's bad. That's not like, you know, wow, terrible, god-awful. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. So that's probably one we're going to stay away from, even though I know a lot of people want to see it. It's just like, we can't think of anything, you know. So if we don't have to force it, we try not.